to another video. It's been a little while since my last one, but don't worry about it, we're back in the swing. Today is a big special day. We're doing my top 10 albums of 2024. This is always a fun little exciting period at the end of the year for us metalheads, well, for us music fans really, to just go back through what we've been jamming all year to be like, wow, there was some good stuff throughout the whole year, like just from everybody, do you know what I mean? Like my list comprises of death metal, what else have we got here? We've got heavy metal, we've got symphonic metal, you know, there's some things thrown in, so it's really exciting. All the big names have already got their lists out, so I thought I'd better get mine out before the Christmas period really kicks in. So yeah, without further ado, if you've got a top 10, please chuck it down below if you haven't made a video that I've already watched about it. But yeah, chuck your top 10 of the year down below. We'll get a conversation going as to why my number one is stupid and why yours is better. You know, that's normally how the trends go in the comment section. But hey, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Coming in strong at number 10, I've put Bruce Dickinson's solo project, solo album, The Mandrake Project. Also, you'll excuse my slightly quieter, more so whispered vocal today because, once again, the little boy's asleep in the other room. Don't want to wake him up. So yeah, Bruce Dickinson, The Mandrake Project. This came out on March 1st, 2024. So pretty much, I think it's the oldest album I've got, so it's way back at the start. I remember being hyped for this, not because I claim to be like a Bruce Dickinson solo fan, but I was just like, it's sort of like a poor man's brand new Maiden album. Do you know what I mean? There's some variations, but there's also some differences, and similarities as well between the two, but they are quite different as well. For one thing, it's not a 90-minute album, so that's always fun. The song itself, the opening song, Afterglow of Ragnarok, when that came out, I was like, this is cool. It was loud, it was powerful, it was a decent length, it's like 6 minutes, and I was like, this is cool. Bruce sounded good. The video was kind of cheesy, but I thought it was a good song, and I couldn't wait to hear the rest. Many Doors to Hell is okay, but then Rain on the Graves and Resurrection Man, those two made me go, cool, this album is a good one so far. Fingers in the Wounds is a bit Maiden sounding, in my opinion. That kind of reminds me of the Tears from a Clown from the Book of Souls era. It sounds like it would go on Book of Souls. Obviously, this album also has Eternity Has Failed, which is the demo for If Eternity Should Fail from the Book of Souls again. Mistress of Mercy is cool. Face in the Mirror reminds me of Tears of the Dragon from way back on his solo stuff at the start. It's just this real much calmer melodic song. It's really awesome. Sonata Immortal Beloved is a 10-minute song to close the album. This album is just under an hour, but it was a good fun. It was a good jam. I really liked it. I jammed it again yesterday just to remind how good it was. And yeah, I still loved not every minute of it, but most minutes of it. So yeah, coming in with number 10, Bruce Dickinson's The Mandrake Project. Coming in at number 9, I've put Leprous with their 8th studio album, Melodies of Atonement. So this one came out on August 30. So this album I heard randomly on Spotify. I think I let my music just play, and the opening song to this album played, which is Silently Walking Alone. And at first I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't sound like anything fancy. How it's a bit like, not electronic per se, but it's like, it was a lot more, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but it was more slower, and his voice was nothing amazing. I heard it, but then the more that the song built over hearing it, I was like, that's quite a powerful song, to the point where he belts the name of the song at the end in a much higher register, Silently Walking Alone. And I was like, whoa. After that, I was like, all right, play the song again, listen to it properly. And I was like, okay, I quite like this. And then it kind of went on from there. I started to play the album over and over again, and I really started to be like, holy damn, this is really good. How have I never heard of these guys? They're like a progressive metal band out of Norway, and like I say, this is their 8th album. Never heard of them before. So it was just like, okay, so hopefully in 25 I will go back and listen to more of that stuff, because it's honestly so good. Atonement, not really the title track, but the unofficial title track, you know, that's a good one as well. I Hear the Sirens, oh, I really love that one. Again, quietly at the start, and then builds up to the high register over the course of the song, you know. Like a Sunken Ship, that's cool. Limbo, I really loved Limbo. When I heard that, I was like, so good. Self-Sustained Lullaby, Unfree My Soul, they are all good songs, honestly. If you like a bit of difference, like it's a bit spacey and it's not like electronic, but there's some sort of electro vibe in it. It sounds cool. It's progressive, so of course it's going to be weird. But yeah, it's a really good album, and I should really go back and listen to the rest of their stuff to see if it's just as good. So yeah, number 9, Melodies of Atonement, Leprous. I won't lie, number 8's a random one. Number 8 is comes under like the epic black metal title, I think. I've gone for Rivendell's brand new album, Unsung Tales. I saw this on YouTube thanks to the Black Metal Project, or whatever that, Black Metal Promotions, or whatever that YouTube channel's called, and again, let it play, and I was just like, whoa, atmospheric, epic black metal stuff. You know, it's black metal with folky stuff, and obviously with a name like Rivendell, you can totally understand like where the vibe of what they're going for has come from. You know, The Road Goes Ever On is the first song. Hello, The Road Goes Ever On, we all know where that's from. 2.5 minutes of this beautiful orchestrated little intro thing, so good, and then goes straight into The Lay of Lathian, which is a 6-minute song, and just the melodies throughout this whole thing is just insane. The atmosphere of it is just great. I wish I lived in a place like that, where you would just wander forests and mountains listening to stuff like this. It would honestly be so fun. Lament is beautiful. Nimrodel is awesome. The Crown was great. Honestly, this was just a random album that I found accidentally, but I ended up jamming it so much over the year. So yeah, I was definitely putting this one in my list. So number 8, Rivendell, Unsung Tales. Everyone's got this album in their top 10. Number 7 for me is Blood Incantation with Absolute Elsewhere. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Death metal is not my genre. So to be able to say that I've comfortably got a death metal album in my top 10 is pretty cool. I saw the hype when this one came out. People were comparing it to like death metal Pink Floyd, and it's so spacey and it's just this and it's that. And I was like, I can't stand Pink Floyd. So how on earth do you mix it with death metal? Well, again, never listened to Blood Incantation before, but I knew their album covers. They were very famously talked about albums amongst the metal community. So I was like, so that's what that is, with a logo that you can't pronounce or you can't see. So yeah, it was very fun to actually sit down and listen to this. People going on, it's only 2 tracks, but it goes for 40 odd minutes or whatever. It was like, I see what you've done. So you've got the Stargate being track 1, which goes for 20 minutes, and then the Message going for another 20 minutes. Personally, I prefer the Stargate over the Message, but they're both just as good as the other. The way it's literally like that, it's Pink Floyd style-esque with cosmic vibes, and but with brutal gutturals and just real melodic passages, but also brutal passages. You know, the Stargate Tablet 1, 2, and 3, they flow into each other. So yes, it virtually is one song, but good God, honestly, this one's just great. I did give the other one a listen to, the one that came before it. What's it called? The one with the aliens? I can't remember what it's called. Stand By. Hidden History of the Human Race. That was great as well. And yeah, I was just like, good God. Just for fun, I'll probably rank this band considering they've only got 4 albums. But either way, the Message was also great as well. It's just so fun. Well, there are moments throughout the whole album where it's just, it's just so death metal-y, but there's synthesizers and keyboards, and like gives it not like a Rush kind of vibe, but yeah, more so than just standard Floyd, with heavy keyboards and just, yeah, it was just so fun. I thought this album was great, and it definitely deserves all the hype. Is it the best death metal album of the year? Could be. Like I said, I don't listen to much death metal, so I wouldn't know what else came out in the death metal world, but yeah, this one definitely a high contender for that title. So yeah, number 7, Blood Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere. Number 6, Fleshgod Apocalypse, Opera. Yeah, this album came out in August, the 23rd of August, and I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, I remember Fleshgod. So after hearing this album, I then went ahead and ranked all of their albums, so that was a fun. If you're interested in that, go check that out. This album, I won't lie, got quite high on the ranking. Obviously, it also got quite high on the top 10 list. This album, it didn't really come out of nowhere, but like, it was just a really good Fleshgod album. If you don't know who Fleshgod are, they are just, it's technical symphonic death metal, just everything turned up to 11, just everything about it. The drums are insane, the like literally they are just wild, it's insane. I'm talking Annihilation type stuff. And then you've got, with the vocals and all the guitars and the classical elements behind it, that's what makes it stand out from other death metal bands, is the fact that it's symphonic death metal. It's just like, good God, so good, such good stuff. I liked this one because it flowed a lot more than a bunch of other Fleshgod albums that I listened to. Like Ode to Art, the intro, was just so beautiful. I Can Never Die was a great single. That one is just one of the better ones off the album. It's so good. Blood Clock was great. Matricide 821, I really liked that. I thought that was good. Till Death Do Us Part, just really awesome stuff. The Morphine Waltz, nice. And now I'm struggling to remember which is which. Is it Per Aspera ad Astra? There's a piece on here somewhere. I haven't listened to this one in a few days. Well, I say days, a little while. But there's just like a full-blown operatic piece on this album, and good God, it's just nice. It's amazing. It might be the Morphine Waltz that does that, but yeah, it's just you don't expect that on a death metal album, but because of the vibe of the whole album, it fits so well. It's honestly amazing. If you haven't listened to Opera, please go ahead and do it. It's really good. It'll blow you off, and just, yeah, it'll kill you. It's that powerful. So yeah, number 6, Fleshgod Apocalypse, Opera. Number 5 is an album that I didn't know was coming out until I saw someone post a review about it, and I was like, oh wait, what? Number 5 is Unto Others, Never Neverland. I was like, oh, cool. I found the previous album, Strength, done, I think, was it Metal Hammer? I think one of them put that album as like his favorite of the year. So I was like, oh, okay, let's go check that out. And that was cool, slow, gothic rock type stuff. So when I saw that they've got another album coming out, I was like, oh, awesome stuff. When did this one drop? I'm not entirely sure. I can't see it on the page. Hang on, when did it come out? It should tell me down the bottom. September 20, 2024. So that's cool. It's been out for a few months. And again, I've jammed it so much. It's a long album in terms of track numbers, if you include the deluxe, if you go off the deluxe version, which it's the track that I've got in front of me, so we will. Yeah, if you like slower stuff, like it's like Typo mixed with The Cure, and just like real, it sort of has an 80s new wave vibe about it, but it's also like, it's just a lot more, well, it's bouncy, do you know what I mean? The songs on here aren't very long. The longest song on here that I can immediately see is the last song, and that's only 4 minutes. So yeah, every song just flies by. It's real fun. Butterfly, the opening song, and I think the lead single was just really nice. That reminded me so much of Little Bird from the Strength album. Really cool stuff. Mama Likes the Door Closed, weird song, bit heavier that one, but that one's all right. Angel of the Night, great vocal melody in that song. I just love that. As soon as I heard it, I was like, that's a great song. This is going to be a great album, and the rest pursued likewise. Suicide Today, a weirdly confronting song about suicide. There's some harsh lyrics in that song, but it's honestly so damn catchy. I love that one as well. Sunshine is cool, a very bleak song, but a bit uplifting in terms of music and sound. It's quite slow, and well, it's dark and depressing lyrically, but the beat behind it and the chorus is great. Honestly, it's so nice. When the Kids Are Caught is probably one of the slower ones in terms of, you know, tempo and just like how mellow it is when he sings it. It's really fun. 1999. I was like, that's the Unto Others sound. Cold World is amazing as well. I love the chorus in that, and again, the lyrics in it are beautiful. This album is surrounded by clean tones and clean stuff, but there are some metal moments and the odd solo thrown in there, and just to break it up a little bit. But yeah, honestly, it's such a fun album. If you haven't heard it and you like Typo type stuff and a bit slower, go listen to it. It's honestly amazing. That's Neverland, Unto Others. Neverland, Unto Others. Number 4, I've gone with Nile, The Underworld Awaits Us All. Yeah, this has to be the heaviest album on the list. I think it's Nile. What do you expect? This came out August 23. Notice we're getting a lot of August, September-ish release dates around this stuff. It's so funny. This all happened at once. It was quite funny. Yeah, when this was announced and released, I was excited because I was like, oh, cool. I've said it before, I'm not a death metal fan. However, I have given Nile a bit of time. I did start to, I think it was earlier this year, like start of the year, possibly even late last year, I can't remember. But I did start the quest of ranking all of Nile's albums. However, I didn't finish it. I got near the end. I got up to, which one did I get up to? I got up to What Should Not Be Unearthed. Is that the one? Maybe, I can't remember. I got near the end and then I just stopped, which is a shame because I only had 3 left. But if I did it again, I would have to go back and listen to them all just so I know what's what. However, I did have a clear favorite at that time. Anyway, and no, it wasn't the debut like it always is. The Underworld Awaits Us All was a goddamn heavy, brutal album, and chucking it into the ranking whenever that gets done, this will be very, very high up. I don't doubt it. When they dropped their song Chapter for Not Being Hung Upside Down on a Stake in the Underworld and Made to Eat Feces by 4 Apes was released, I was like, first of all, what the fuck is that name? But also, great song. It's only 4 minutes long and it's just straight, as you'd expect from the Nile gods. To Strike with Secret Fangs, that one's awesome. the Pentagramathian of Nefrencar, the instrumental, that one was awesome. Under the Curse of One God, just that song was just brutal in itself. That one was awesome. True Gods of the Desert, that one is amazing. Honestly, there's some moments in here where there's several different layers of vocals going on with like female stuff and just really, really brutal vocals at the same time. It's just awesome. I don't need to say too much about this album because we've probably all given it a listen and we've all chucked it into our lists, rightly so. It's a great album and I will definitely really, really try to get back onto the Nile ranking of it. But yeah, it's just so good. Listening to it was just awesome. My mate and his band opened for Nile over in Japan. I was about to say when they came here. No, they didn't. Nile did come to New Zealand, but Imperial Slave didn't open for them here. They followed them to Japan instead, which, if you ask me, was a much better way to do it. But yeah, that's exciting. Yeah, Underworld Awaits Us All, fantastic album, and I'll definitely be jamming this for a little while. So yeah, number 4, Nile, Underworld Awaits Us All. Number 3 is the new Nightwish album, Yes to Wind. Yeah, I had to chuck this one in there. Although I didn't actually expect it to go up to number 3. So it just beats Nile. If I had to take one of them away, it would probably be Nile because this one's awesome. When the new Nightwish album was announced, I was like, thank God, because if you know anything about me in terms of Nightwish, they're one of my top 10 bands of all time, and Human Nature, the album that comes before this one, is actually awful, in my opinion. I don't like it, so I was just like, cool, let's get out of this whole human evolution, tribal-esque thing that we've sort of been doing since Endless Forms Most Beautiful back in 2015. Thomas Holopainen did say that it was doing a trilogy of them, so this Yes to Wind is the last one, but it sounds a lot different to Human Nature. It's not so what I call tribal and bongy and like bongo-y, so it's a lot more metal and it's a lot more symphonic and it's just straight up a lot better. Do you know what I mean? Yes to Wind, the opening song, is this thing that starts with the reel of old school film, just really good stuff, and then goes into An Ocean on Strange Islands. That one, just a 10-minute song, just kicks you in the face. Just, I hate to say it, but I think that's one of the best songs on the album because it's a single. That's why I say I hate to say it, because normally the deeper cuts are always better than singles. However, who releases a 10-minute single and doesn't expect it to be amazing? The only gripe that I'll give with that song is that part in the middle. It's like 1/4 of the way in. It sounds like the chorus. Well, it is the chorus, but it doesn't, and the key that they sing it in, it's just real typical Nightwish sounding. It's just Fleur being real loud and real drawn out with her vocals. It's amazing, but they don't repeat it until much later at the end, and then when they do repeat it, it's in a different key. It's higher, so it's just like, that's annoying in my opinion. That should have just been like done at least with a 10-minute song. It should have been done like at least 3 times before they changed it up, but no, only did it once. Other than that though, great song. The Day Of was another single, as was Perfume of the Timeless. Those two are weaker compared to the other one, in my opinion. The Day Of especially, I don't think I like that one as much, but yeah. Sway, beautiful song. The Children of Utter, fantastic. I did a review on this album when it came out, and a comment on the video said that the intro to that is actually from Tonga. So I was like, oh, yo, that's kind of close to home. You know, Tonga's only that way by plane, like 3 hours, so that's awesome. Something Whispered followed me. Spider Silk, those two are good. Hiraeth was cool. The Weave and Lantern Light, beautiful songs. Lantern Light especially. Weave, I think Weave was a bit weird from what I remember, but yeah, honestly, the Antikythera Mechanism, I'm pretty sure that's the heaviest song on the album overall. But yeah, honestly, fantastic album. I'm glad Nightwish came back with something strong. Is it as good as my favorite Nightwish album? Absolutely not, but it's so much better than what came before Human Nature. And I reckon, obviously, when the next album comes out, hopefully it's a bit more heavy and a bit more, for a better word, a bit more metal. I know that he's very transfixed on the way that Thomas writes his music, and he doesn't write thrash metal anymore because he writes what he writes. But anyway, I'll take it, I'll buy it. I did buy this album, it's on the shelf, I just didn't pick it up off to show you, but yeah. Number 3, Yes to Wind, Nightwish. Number 2 is Manson's new album, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. Again, when this one came out, I thought, oh yeah, that's a pretty good album. And then I listened to it again and again and again. I was like, this album is actually really, really good. It's a lot better than a lot of his other 21st century stuff, I'll say. Well, I'll say that most of his stuff is 21st century. Okay, how about from like 2015, 2012 onwards, everything after Born Villain. Born Villain is right down the bottom. This one if you compare it to that, it's way so much better. This one didn't come out that long ago. This has only been out literally less than a month. This came out on November 22nd, and so to be able to chuck this one up as high as it is, only having been listening to it for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, is pretty hardcore. But I'm a Manson fan, so when I heard it, I was just like, cool. When I heard the first single, which I'm pretty sure was As Sick as the Secrets Within, I was like, that's great. It's slower, it's catchy, it's typical older Marilyn Manson, I think. And then you get the other single, Sacrilegious, which is a lot bouncier, almost poppier, but it's not poppy, it's just more beat driven. Do you know what I mean? But it's catchy as the chorus, and that is great. Raise the Red Flag, that's just awesome. I really love that single. But all the deep cuts as well are fantastic. The only one I don't really vibe with is Nod If You Understand. I don't really like that song, but everything else, No Funeral Without Applause is great. Death Is Not a Costume. Sacrifice of the Mass is a lot slower and calmer. It's still good, but I wouldn't have put it as the closing song. But Meet Me in Purgatory, that's catchy as Meet Me in... What is it? Are you gonna pray for me when I'm in purgatory? I was like, how is this not the single? It's catchy as, and my favorite song. Yeah, good album. Can't believe it's number 2. Only been out for 4 weeks, but yeah, it's a fantastic album. Marilyn Manson, One Assassination Under God, Chapter 1. Let's see what Chapter 2 is when that comes out. And so my number 1 album for 2024, again, is a random as one. I've chosen an album by a band called Bellfor, and their most recent album, Eastern Tales, which came out at the start of the year. When did this one drop? This dropped on April 5th. 2024. So again, this one's a little while ago, so I've been jamming this one a lot over the year. Half of this album turned up in my Spotify Wrapped. The song, which one is it? Track 3, Song of the Ancient Age, was one of my top most streamed songs this year. So yeah, this is an album that I again saw on YouTube on the Black Metal Productions page or whatever it was, and I was intrigued by the album name, Eastern Tales, as well as the album cover. Look at it; it looks like something insane. It weirdly looks a lot like something like a power metal album, right? But this is epic black metal, so it's black metal, but it's sort of following the power metal vibe in terms of concept storytelling. It's sort of like a Rhapsody black metal album, if that makes sense. This is album 3 in the saga that they're up to, I think. I'm not sure if they're all related, forgive me, but you know, if you buy certain types of the album, you get like a map with it and all this other really, really fun little stuff that me being like a Rhapsody Gloryhammer fan, that's the stuff that just makes me wet on the inside. It's just a bit, oh yes, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's symphonic, it's black metal, it's heavy, it's epic, it's so cool. To the Eastern Lands is a beautiful little orchestrated piece of music, and it's just so nice before it goes into Sons of the Sun. What really blew me away is the black metalness of it, but it's not just the drumming about it. It's not just straight 4/4 stuff. I wouldn't call it progressive either, but like it's just a bit more involved than what you would expect from usual black metal. Sons of the Sun has throughout the whole album, there's some really harsh black metal vocals, obviously, but the choruses that they do have such incredible folky melodies and real like low choirs to do the clean singing. There isn't clean singing. It's all done by low choirs, and the third song, Storm of the Ancient Age, is just amazing. It's 10 minutes of just catchy folk black metal, and then an epic chorus at the end with those low vocals. Honestly, it's so cool. The Hermit Awakes is a lot calmer, a lot cleaner for the first half before it blows off again, and then you get the Battle of Theralas and the Rise of the Sovereign is a fantastic way to end the album. Just another 7-minute, just epic black metal song. Do you know what I mean? It's like Mighty Raven Dark from Immortal, but with an orchestra behind it. Honestly, this is a little fantastic album, and I was meaning to buy the vinyl like over time, but because they're French and all their stuff comes from Bandcamp and whatnot, excuse me. Well, it's just, I wanted to buy it from, I went to buy it from Bandcamp, but it was sold out. So I went to a record label to see if they had it. And God, the import charges are so dear for me personally. But yeah, if you haven't checked these guys out, please go. This is their 3rd album, and their stuff that they do is just so amazing. It's epic black metal storytelling, fantasy fun. It's amazing, honestly. Go check it out, it's amazing. Number 1, Bellfor, Eastern Tales. Awesome as team, thank you so much for hanging out with me while I sit here and casually whisper my top 10 metal albums for 2024. Hopefully I haven't been too quiet, and hopefully my boy hasn't woken up. I did hear him make a bit of a noise, but hopefully mum is able to put him back to sleep if he's woken up. But either way, thank you so much for hanging out with me, team. Like I said at the start, chuck your lists down below and we'll get a conversation going as to why each other's is wrong. You know, that's always what happens in the comments. It's good fun. Keep an eye out for the next video. Will there be one? There should be some more coming up before Christmas, hopefully. But until that happens, everybody, stay inside, stay safe, subscribe for metal content, and I'll see you all in the next video. See you later.